Do I absolutely love Pod Hotel New York? In this video, you're going to find out because I'm going to share some insights with you from 3 pod hotels in Manhattan. After watching this video, you'll be able to determine if you'll love Pod Hotel enough for it to serve as your temporary home during your visit to New York City. As an added bonus, make sure you watch until the end of this video because I'll share with you a wild experience that I had at one of the properties. I'm Qiana, a Manhattan local and licensed tour guide who loves to help tourists make the most of their time in New York City. From discovering fun things to do, to sharing my insights on the best places to stay, and finding off the beaten path experiences so that you can immerse yourself in your passions, my channel gives you quick videos so that you can create bucket list worthy memories in the Big Apple. So click the like, share, subscribe, and notification buttons below so that you can stay on top of everything. Because one thing I'll say about New York City is life happens fast and fun here. Now let's talk Pod Hotel New York. Pod hotels are designed for travelers who want to spend the bulk of their trip budget on the experiences at the location where they're at as opposed to where they're staying. So you'll find that the rooms are tiny in size, contain minimal furniture, but have modern conveniences such as lots of outlets, flat screen TVs, and just real efficient use of the space. Some of the offerings across all 3 hotels that you'll see in Manhattan are bunk bed pods, full pods, queen pods, and then at their Times Square location, you'll notice that they have extended stay option and even larger kind of studio apartment options to accommodate people who want something a little bit bigger. So I will tell you, just full disclosure, I've probably stayed across the 3 pod hotel properties in Manhattan anywhere from 45 to 60 days total since I relocated to New York City in 2014. So based on my experiences across these 3 hotels, here are my insights about each one. Number 1, Pod 51. Located just a short walk from 5th Avenue, Central Park, and the St. Patrick's Cathedral, Pod 51 is located on East 51st Street near the corner of 3rd Avenue in Midtown Manhattan. You'll notice that the room sizes for this particular location range from 90 square feet to about 150 square feet. For all the times that I've stayed at this particular location, I've actually booked the bunk bed pod. And it was interesting, this was the first location that I ever stayed at, and the reason why I booked a room there was because I saw there was an amazing deal on the bunk bed pod. I had never stayed in a hotel room that had a bunk bed, so I thought it would be cool. How often do you get to stay, sleep on a bunk bed? What I really didn't realize until after I checked in is that the bathroom is not located inside the room. It is actually a communal bathroom. When you book the bunk bed pod, you do have a facial bowl kind of sink in your room, but you have to use the communal bathrooms outside of your designated room. Now, I was a little hesitant at first, but when I walked into the bathroom, communal bathroom, it was very clean, which of course put my mind at ease. But what really floored me was the fact that the shower was, a high-powered shower along with wall jets, about 6 wall jets to be exact. And let me tell you, it is so easy to forget that you're actually in a communal bathroom at a budget hotel. I mean, these showers, will rival some of the best showers at some of the most luxurious hotels. So that for me was the standout feature at Pod 51. Number 2, Pod 39. Nestled in between Lexington Avenue and 3rd Avenue in the Murray Hill neighborhood of Manhattan, Pod 39 is located on 39th Street, just steps from Grand Central Terminal, Bryant Park, and the Empire State Building. The pods at this hotel range between 90 square feet to 140 square feet, and I find that the prices at this location tend to trend a little higher than the other 2 properties located in the city. Traditionally, when I stay there, I either book a full pod or a queen pod. But for me, one of the standout features at Pod 39 is their lounge. The Playroom Lounge has lots of communal tables where you can charge your devices, air hockey, as well as other games like Battleship. Additionally, one of the fond memories I have from checking in is that they usually have an M&M dispenser so that you can get M&Ms for free at the counter. So for me, their lounge to me stands out at this location a bit more than the other 2. Number 3, Pod Times Square. Towering above the corner of 42nd Street and 9th Avenue, Pod Times Square is the newest addition to the Pod Hotel New York chain. And I must say, in the last year, this is the only Pod Hotel location that I've been staying at. Typically, the pods run between 115 square feet to 125 square feet, so that means the rooms are just a tad bit larger here than at the other properties. It also has, as I mentioned earlier in the video, larger studio pods and extended stay apartments for those who want to stay more than a week or two or even 30 days on the property. One of my favorite things by far at this location is that it has the most amazing views. In the 15 to 20 times that I've stayed there over the course of the year, I would say I've never had a bad view. I mean, just absolutely gorgeous views of the city. And then also, because it's a newer location, the restaurants, they have two on the property, are just designed beautifully, and you have rooftop bars that overlook the rest of the city, which you're only steps away from Times Square, literally across the street from Port Authority. So what's my final verdict? Do I absolutely love Pod Hotel New York? My answer is a resounding yes. When I need a smartly designed hotel room that is modern and at a price that is not going to break my budget, I have no problem booking at any of the Pod Hotel New York locations in Manhattan. Should you find that this place is the perfect location for you during your next visit to New York City, make sure to keep these following things in mind. Number one, hotel deposits. Traditionally, Pod Hotel New York locations hold about $10 for the deposit, as opposed to like $50 to $100 that you'll get at other hotels. So that means you have even more money to spend on your trip. Number two, facilities fees. Now, when I first started booking at the Pod Hotel New York properties, they were not charging facilities fees whatsoever, but that has changed. The facility fees that I find typically when I book at these properties range anywhere from $18 to $23 per night. So just keep that in mind. Number three, if you decide that you're going to book through a third-party vendor, be it like Hotel Tonight or something like that, before you book, make sure you go to Pod Hotel official website to see if there are any specials so that you can get the hotel rate at an even lower rate, which sometimes can range from 5 to 10% off. And sometimes they actually waive the facilities fee, which they're actually doing this month of March, I noticed when I went to the website. So make sure to keep those three things in mind. And now, since you've stayed to this portion of the video, here is my wow story that happened during one of my stays at Pod Hotel Times Square. So it's the night of September 30th at about 10:30 p.m. and I'm staying somewhere on like the 28th floor. Beautiful view, so much so that I pushed the like sliding door and window panel to one side so that the skyline, the light from the skyline could just, cascade into the room as I fell asleep. And you know when you're at that point where you're just about to like doze off into deep sleep, all of a sudden the fire alarm starts blaring and it startles me awake. And my initial thought, being in New York City is like, oh my goodness, I hope nothing crazy is going on. But it's a fire alarm and I'm on the 28th floor, and so I gotta make some quick decisions. I try to call downstairs, no one answers. So because no one, answered the phone downstairs, I had to make an executive decision, throw on my clothes, grab my coat because it was cold outside, and my boots, and make my way to the elevator, try to get on one of the elevators because at this point they're all whizzing, down to the lobby because everybody's, coming out of their rooms trying to figure out what's going on. And I make it down to the lobby to, with the doors open and to spill out to hundreds of people just trying to figure out what the world. So I make my way over to the counter where I can, just be in earshot to hear what's going to happen next or what we need to do, because the lobby isn't even on the ground floor of the building. And another female guest who I think was traveling solo was kind of standing beside me. We were just trying to figure out what's going on. And I noticed out of the corner of my eye a young woman who seemed a bit calmer than most of us. And so she makes her way over to the counter and tells the associates that she, in fact, is the reason why we're having this alarm. Now, in the time that I heard that, my imagination just started to run wild. I started filling in the gaps on why this happened. She was with her friends. They wanted to smoke. They didn't want to be caught. They, tried to make the fire alarm not work, and it just backfired. So, but the flaw in that kind of story that I had for myself was that she didn't have any friends with her, and she didn't smell like smoke. So, between her telling what she did and the response from the counter person, I had just concocted this wild story so that this could make sense, because it made no sense to me. Well, the response from the hotel associate was filled with so much disbelief and what the world and pain of why would you do that? I mean, it was just this visceral response of like, why would you do this? It literally makes no sense. To which the lady responded, I need to get a message to the New York Times. Now, we're at Times Square. I actually know where the New York Times headquarters is, and being that I am a licensed tour guide and just an overall helpful person, I actually had to stop myself from saying, well, did you know that it's actually, but I didn't say anything because I figured there might be a bigger issue here. But it also made me think about, are we in an episode of like 24 or Homeland where somebody has to get a message to, the public to save the world? Or, even how many people come to New York with a mission of getting a message, or what they think is an important message to the people at the New York Times. And I later found out that this is actually something that this young woman had been very insistent on doing since she had actually checked in. And so what transpired was, like, for me, I thought, well, we're going to be in a bit of trouble here, because now if everything checks out and the building's fine, I'm going to have to figure out a way to get myself to go back to sleep, knowing that there is someone here who's willing to go to the extreme to get her message to the New York Times, and so she can have her voice heard. And so what happened was the NY fire department, they checked everything out. Everything was fine, no fires, just a false alarm. And the authorities came to help this young lady work through, the issues she had, be it getting a message to the New York Times or whatever else was going on. So I definitely applaud the Times Square staff for handling it as professionally and as quickly as possible. For those of us who had to go through that experience, it was very, surreal to say the least. But like I say, I've stayed there several times since then, but, New York is filled with all sorts of people on all sorts of missions. And it just so happens sometimes you come across people who have a mission that's a bit outside of what your plans are for that day or that evening. So that's my wild Times Square story. Which of these New York hotel locations would you enjoy staying at? Tell me in the comments below. To learn more about Hotel New York, make sure to click the link in the description. For more NYC travel tips, insights on accommodations, and the occasional wild story, make sure to give this video a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and click the notification bell.